4 attachment styles in marriage and how they will actually shape your conflict. You know, the way you love your spouse did not begin on your wedding day or even the day you met. You know, long before marriage, your heart was learning what connection would feel like and would feel safe to you. Can I trust people? Will someone be there when I need them? Are my emotions safe with you? Do I really matter? Will closeness hurt me or help me? Will love leave me or stay with me? These questions often form really early in life, and over time, they shape the way we relate, the way we communicate, the way we fight, and the way we seek closeness or even distance in marriage. And this is where attachment becomes so important. Attachment is the emotional bond that teaches us how safe this connection actually feels. When someone grows up with consistent care, emotional presence, safety, they often develop a strong sense of what's safe and secure. And that security can help them communicate, more importantly, regulate their emotions, and repair their conflict more easily. But when care was inconsistent, unavailable, overwhelming, or unsafe, the heart often develops these protective strategies. And those strategies probably helped you survive any earlier pain. But in marriage, they can create distance. And today, I want to walk you through the 4 basic styles. Remember, these are not labels, they're not excuses, but they're just lenses. A lens that will help you see your attachment more clearly. What is secure attachment? You know, the first one that I want to talk about is secure attachment. And a securely attached person is usually comfortable with closeness and independence. And they can depend on others, but they can also allow others to depend on them. And in conflict, they are more able to communicate, to repair, and to return to connection. You know, this doesn't mean that they're the perfect person. It means that their nervous system has a stronger foundation for trust, emotional safety, and connection. The second one we often talk about is that avoidant attachment. An avoidant attachment pattern often learned that vulnerability isn't safe. So when emotions rise, they may withdraw, shut down, become quiet, try to stay really self-sufficient. I'm going to take care of myself. And on the outside, this can look like distance, but underneath may be that fear of failure, of being too much, of rejection, of not knowing what to do with that other person's emotions. Avoidant protection says, I need space, so I won't make things worse. The third is that anxious attachment. A person with an anxious attachment often really longs for deep closeness, but they fear it at the same time. When they sense distance, they may pursue, ask questions, become intense to their partner, or seek reassurance very quickly. And on the outside, this can look very demanding to their partner, but underneath, there may be a deep fear. Are we okay? Do you still choose me? Am I losing you? Anxious protection says, I need to reach for you before you will disappear from me. The fourth one that we want to talk about in adult attachment, we often call fearful. Now, this style carries both that longing for closeness and that fear of closeness. A person may want connection, but not really trust it, and they move toward and pull away. They may desire intimacy, but they feel very unsafe when it gets too close. And this often comes from early experiences where connection felt unpredictable or painful, or they just couldn't trust it. Now, here's the most important part. Your attachment style is not your identity. It's not a prison. It's not a long-term sentence over your marriage. It's a story. It tells you how your heart learned to love and to protect itself. And when you understand your story, you can begin to choose new patterns. Instead of saying, this is just how I am, you can begin to say, this is how I learned to protect myself. This is how my nervous system works. But God can help me grow and learn how to be different, especially in this marriage. You know, in a marriage, attachment shows up in everyday moments. You know, it's how you respond when your spouse is quiet, how you ask for comfort, how you handle conflict, how you interpret a tone, how you will assume rejection, how comfortable you are with vulnerability, especially that, and how easily you will repair after hurt. And this is why understanding both your attachment style and your spouse's style can create compassion and understanding in your relationship. You can stop seeing each other as just difficult and begin to see each other by what they might be protecting. You begin to ask, what fear is underneath this reaction? What need is underneath this behavior? And what would help both of us to feel safe enough to reconnect right now? So here's your exercise in this session. Each spouse answers 3 questions. And when we're in conflict, do I tend to move toward you or away from you? When I feel disconnected, what am I most afraid of? What helps me feel safe enough to reconnect during those times? Do not use these questions to diagnose each other. Use them to try to understand each other. Because when healing begins, couples stop attacking the reactions to each other and start caring for what's underneath that, the possible fear that's underneath that. Your attachment story matters, but it does not have to have the final word. New patterns can be formed with your partner's help, and safety can grow. Connection can be built, and marriage can become that place where both your hearts learn to love with more security, more compassion, and more grace. Bring this conversation into your marriage this week. Ask your spouse, when we disconnect, what helps you feel safe again? And please remember to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series and understand what this means to you and to your marriage.